Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. In today's video, we are going to continue with linear homogeneous equations with constant coefficients. We started with this topic in the last video and we learned the technique of solving linear homogeneous equations with constant coefficients in the previous video, and if you can recall, it's entirely based on the nature of roots that the characteristic equation has got. So here in this video, it's primarily a compilation of various questions of different kinds that can come under this topic. So let's begin with the first question. Look at the first question. It says find the general solution of this differential equation. We can see that it's the second order linear homogeneous because the right hand side is 0, y and its derivatives are appearing with power 1 and the coefficients are all constants. So it's falling in the category of being a linear differential equation with constant coefficients. So we can straight away calculate its characteristic equation. Characteristic equation is just replace the derivative by the corresponding power of r. That's your algebraic equation. And this algebraic equation obviously will have two roots. You solve for the two roots and depending on the nature of roots, you write the final answer. Now since minus 4 by 7 and 3 by 5, both of them are real and distinct, therefore the corresponding contribution from each of these roots is going to be an exponential corresponding to the real number that we have got here. So minus corresponding to minus 4 by 7, it's c1 e to power minus 4 by 7x because minus 4 by 7 is coming only once as a root of the characteristic equation. Similarly, for 3 by 5 also you have a similar contribution. So that's the end of the solution for this differential equation. That's the general solution. And as we discussed in the previous video also, the number of arbitrary constants in the final answer, the general solution of any differential equation is exactly equal to the order of the differential equation. So you can see that the order is 2 and hence the two constants which are appearing in the general solution are very much consistent with what we know. So let's look at the second question, which is an order 3 equation. Again, it's LD with CC. That means linear differential equation with constant coefficients. So you just calculate the roots of the characteristic equation by factorizing. You can see it's AQ plus BQ, AQ plus BQ formula, which you apply. So one of the roots is minus 3 and then you use the discriminant formula here to get a complex pair as the other two roots. So the roots are minus 3, 3 by 2 plus minus 3 root 3 by 2 iota. Now since this is a real and distinct root, so you have an exponential contribution to the general solution, but this is a complex pair where the real part of the complex pair is 3 by 2 and the imaginary part of the complex pair is 3 root 3 by 2. So you have e to power alpha x, so e to power 3 by 2x, c2 cos 3 root 3 by 2x plus c3 sine 3 root 3 by 2x. 3 root 3 by 2 is the imaginary part of this complex pair here, and as discussed in the previous video, we know that the solution is going to take this form and there are 3 constants in the answer. You can see order is 3 consistent. So let's move on to the next question. Again, a third order question, but there's a hint attached in this question. So this is a question which is a simplified version of the previous question. Here you do not have to find any root yourself. See, when it's a cubic or a biquadratic, we find some of the real roots through hit and trial method and then make it a quadratic and then solve using discriminant rule or whatever we know for solving quadratics. But initially when we begin with, if it's a cubic, sometimes it's very hard to find the first root. So in such questions, when there is a solution already mentioned, so they are hinting at one of the roots of the characteristic equation already. So if you have a question which looks like this, where one of the solutions is already mentioned, then it simplifies your job. The characteristic equation is this, but you do not have to guess the first real root. The real root can be seen from one of the solutions because e to power 3x we know corresponds to r equal to 3. So that means we already know that r equal to 3 is one of the roots of the characteristic equation. If you are not satisfied, you can put r equal to 3 here and convince yourself that it's indeed a root. And once r equal to 3 is a root, you will divide the given cubic by r minus 3, the factor r minus 3, to obtain the resultant quadratic and then solve this resultant quadratic to obtain the other two roots of this cubic equation. So if one of the solutions is given, it becomes very easy for you to solve the given cubic equation, and hence you have 3 roots, 3 minus 3 plus minus 3 iota, and hence for 3 it's c1 e to power 3x, and for minus 3 plus minus 3 iota we write it for the complex pair alpha plus minus iota beta. Using that formula which we learned in the previous video, we can very easily write the solution. Now there's a similar question here. It's a biquadratic given to us, so the corresponding characteristic equation is going to be a degree 4 equation, but luckily we already know that cos 2x is a solution. Now cos 2x and sin 2x, if you remember, cos 2x and sin 2x correspond to 0 plus minus 2 iota. So 0 plus minus 2 iota is the complex pair which corresponds to cos 2x as the solution. So that means if cos 2x is given as a solution, you already know two roots of this biquadratic, which are plus minus 2 iota. And if plus minus 2 iota are two roots, then factorizing this biquadratic, you can divide this biquadratic with this factor r square plus 4, because plus minus 2 iota will correspond to this expression. R square plus 4 is actually factorizable as r plus 2 iota, r minus 2 iota. So you divide by this to get the quotient as 6r square plus 5r plus 1, and then you solve 6r square plus 5r plus 1 to get the other two roots, and the other two roots turn out to be real and distinct. So the four roots of the characteristic equation can be easily obtained if you just use your knowledge of understanding that cos 2x comes as a solution of a linear differential equation with constant coefficients if plus minus 2 iota is a complex pair satisfying the characteristic equation. So indirectly, given cos 2x is a solution is hinting at two roots of the characteristic equation, and once you know two roots of a biquadratic, finding the other two roots are very easy using the division algorithm, and hence once you know the nature of roots, writing the solution becomes easy. Minus half is real and distinct, minus 1 by 3 is real and distinct, and this is the complex pair which is given to us. So that's how you write the general solution. Now look at the fifth question. Again, it's a linear differential equation with constant coefficients, very easy to factorize. The four roots are 2 minus 2 plus minus 2 iota. These are real and distinct. This is a complex pair, so accordingly you write your final general solution. Moving on, there's a constant coefficients question, but the difference here is that the constants are in decimals, but it should not bother you because you can use the discriminant formula to get this complex pair as the two roots of the quadratic equation. The characteristic equation is a quadratic equation, and hence once you have a complex pair alpha plus minus iota beta, you know how to write your general solution. So moving on, another biquadratic is given, but this biquadratic is a little tricky because this is a formula. If you look at the characteristic equation, you should understand that this is the whole square of r square plus r plus 1. So that's the trick involved in this question, that you have to understand that this, otherwise guessing the roots will not be possible, because this biquadratic does not have any real root. So hidden trial is not going to work here. So this is a special tricky question where you should remember that this expression is actually the whole square of r square plus r plus 1, and once you understand that, then things are very easy. So you have a complex pair coming twice as the root of the characteristic equation, so you will have to modify your general solution accordingly. It's e to power minus 1 by 2. This is alpha. Minus 1 by 2 is alpha. Beta is root 3 by 2. But this complex pair is not coming once, it's coming twice. So you do not write c1 cos root 3 by 2x. You write c1 plus c2x cos root 3 by 2x, c3 plus c4x sin root 3 by 2x. And for reference, you can refer to the previous video where we have discussed this in great detail, that what do you do if you get a complex pair alpha plus minus iota beta twice in the solution set of the characteristic equation. So that's what we have used here to write the final answer. But yes, of course, this needs to be remembered that this is actually the whole square of r square plus r plus 1. Otherwise, factorizing it will not be a cakewalk. Nobody can fact because it's not having a real root. So doing hit and trial is not possible here, and you do not even know the relationship between the roots. So there's no way we can solve this biquadratic unless we recall that this is the whole square of r square plus r plus 1. So this needs to be kept in mind for this special question. Now moving on to the next question, you are expected to find a function which satisfies this. So that means you are expected to solve this. You are expected to find the solution of this differential equation with 4 conditions mentioned. Now when initial conditions are mentioned, we know that our job increases a bit. There's a tail attached to the question which expects you to find the values of the constants involved in the general solution also. So let's first quickly factorize. The 4 roots are 0, 0, 0, 1. 0 is coming thrice, so it's c1 plus c2x plus c3x square e to power 0x, which we do not write because e to power 0x is 1. And then corresponding to 1, it's c4 e to power x. Now we need to use these conditions: y at 0, y dash at 0, y double dash at 0 and y triple dash at 0, for which we will need these derivatives. Finding the derivatives and using the initial conditions, it's very easy to find the values of c1, c2, c3 and c4, and after putting that in the general solution, c1 turns out to be 11, so you'll write 11 here, plus c2x, so c2 turns out to be 5, so you'll write 5. Like that you can find one particular member of the general solution family which satisfies this initial condition, set of initial conditions. Now moving on to the next question, another type. Here it's the other way around. So far we were dealing with questions where the equation was given and you were expected to find the solution. Here it's the other way around. You are given the general solution, and looking at the general solution you have to find the homogeneous linear constant coefficients equation whose general solution looks like this. Now looking at the general solution format, you will have to see what can be the possible roots of the characteristic equation. For example, if you look at this one, it's very easy to see that 2 is a root which is coming thrice. Look at this, a plus bx plus cx square e to power 2x. This is written as a solution of an equation if r equal to 2 happens to be a root of the characteristic equation coming thrice. So that means our characteristic equation is r minus 2 cube equal to 0. You open it, and then once you have characteristic equation, you just have to go back to the differential equation. The way we were in the earlier questions, from the differential equation we were creating characteristic equation by replacing the order by the power. Here we'll be replacing the power by the order and obtain our final answer. So it's r3 gets replaced by y3, the triple order derivative of y with respect to x. R square gets replaced by y double dash, r gets replaced by y dash, and here you have r to power 0, so it gets replaced by y's 0th order derivative, which is y itself. So that's how you obtain differential equations from solutions. But you'll have to be careful while guessing, while looking at the general solution, you'll have to figure out the roots. Now look at this one, cos 2x, sin 2x, they correspond to the complex pair plus minus 2 iota. Here it's cos hyperbolic 2x, sin hyperbolic 2x, and that's the definition of hyperbolic functions. Cos hyperbolic 2x is e to power 2x plus e to power minus 2x upon 2, and sin hyperbolic 2x is defined as e to power 2x minus e to power minus 2x by 2. So basically your general solution is a combination of cos 2x, sin 2x, e to power 2x and e to power minus 2x with different constants, of course, right? So that means your roots are 2, minus 2 and plus minus 2 iota. And once you know that these are the roots, forming the characteristic equation is easy. And from the characteristic equation, going to the differential equation is again easy. So you just have to know what cos 2x means. Cos 2x everybody knows, cos 2x, sin 2x. What cos hyperbolic 2x. In fact, cos hyperbolic x, for any x, this is how it is defined. It's the average of e to power x and e to power minus x. And similarly, sin hyperbolic x is defined as e to power x minus e to power minus x upon 2. So in this particular question, you will have to first look at cos hyperbolic 2x and sin hyperbolic 2x in terms of exponentials, and then understand that your general solution is basically a linear combination of cos 2x, sin 2x, e to power 2x and e to power minus 2x, and that will help you to assess the roots of the characteristic equation and hence land into the characteristic equation, and from the characteristic equation you construct your differential equation. Now look at this fifth order equation, but it's an easy one because r square is common and then the resultant one is a cubic, so easy to factorize. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So 0 is coming twice, so this is the contribution because it's c1 plus c2x e to power 0x, and from 1 you have c3 plus c4x plus c5x square e to power x. So that's how you solve for a LDE with CC having 5 roots where 2 roots are coming, there are 2 roots, one root is coming twice, another root is coming thrice. So that's how you write the solutions when it's repeated twice or repeated thrice. Now this is a different kind of question. Find a homogeneous linear ODE, ordinary differential equation, for which these are solutions. So for this you'll have to refer back to Euler-Cauchy equation video which we had posted a little while ago. In Euler-Cauchy, you know that we convert, so Euler-Cauchy looks like this: x square y double dash. If it's order 2 plus, so it can have a constant attached to it, ax square y double dash bxy dash plus cy equal to 0. So if it's a homogeneous linear Euler-Cauchy equation, then whatever is the order, the same power of x is attached to this order. So that's how Euler-Cauchy is defined. And if you remember, these differential equations have solutions of the form which have x to the power something involved, because it's obtained through substitution. So for this you'll have to refer back to that video. I can post the link in the comment section for your reference. So going back to that, you can see that x to power 3, x to power minus 2 is a solution of an Euler-Cauchy differential equation. But how do you decide which Euler-Cauchy? So first of all, 3 and minus 2 are the powers involved, so that means the corresponding characteristic equation is going to look like m minus 3 m plus 2. So you factorize it like this. But if you refer back to Cauchy-Euler, then you need to factorize it like this. If you remember, we had replaced the old derivative by d into d minus 1 of y. So for this you'll have to go back and refer to Euler-Cauchy to understand why this has been written like this. And once you write it like this, m into m minus 1 gets straight away replaced by x square y double dash, and 6 gets replaced by 6y. So you'll have to refer to Euler-Cauchy video for understanding this better. I'm going to post the link of this Euler-Cauchy video in a little while in the comment section also, and then you can refer back. Then things will be very easy to understand, because from the characteristic equation you cannot directly write your ODE here. You will have to convert it into d into d minus 1 or m into m minus 1 form before you assess it. So here you can see that minus 3 is coming twice. That means such solutions come in Euler-Cauchy only when minus 3 is a root coming twice. So that means your characteristic equation is m plus 3 whole square equal to 0, but you'll have to put it in this form, m minus 1, for an obvious reason if you understand what Euler-Cauchy is. So this will get replaced by x square y double dash straight away, and this will get replaced by xy dash, and this will straight away get replaced by 9y to get the resultant differential equation. So it's not with constant coefficients now, it's a homogeneous linear ODE. It's no longer with constant coefficients. So this is a special question which is actually Euler-Cauchy. That is why it's not saying constant coefficients here, because for constant coefficients you do not get solutions of this form. For constant coefficients you generally get exponential, sine, cosine, stuff like that, or exponential into sine combination, exponential into cosine combination. There is no other option. Powers of x come only in Euler-Cauchy, and hence you need to, from your characteristic equation, you need to assess it like this, m into m minus 1 format, and refer back to this Euler-Cauchy video to understand it better. So that is all for you to understand. This is a good compilation of questions of various kinds from this topic which can come. Linear differential equations with constant coefficients. The last one is an exception. It's not with constant coefficients, but yes, it can be reduced to constant coefficients through the substitution b equal to log x, referring back to Euler-Cauchy video. So I think if you practice these questions, you are going to get a fair idea on what kinds of questions can be created in this topic. That is all for now. I think in the next video we are going to start with non-homogeneous equations. So far we were dealing with equations which were having right side equal to 0. Next time we are going to discuss topics, differential equations where the right hand side will no longer be 0, and how do we obtain solutions for such equations. Thank you so much for watching.